Welcome students. This is the presentation on anatomy of auditory tube, also known as eustachian tube or pharyngotympanic tube. Now just have an example of the functioning of eustachian tube. When the aeroplane take off or is landing, we are instructed to chew and swallow the toffee. This is because when we swallow, the eustachian tube opens and this maintains the air pressure on either side of tympanic membrane, preventing the earache. Now we'll see this eustachian tube anatomy under the headings definition, parts, ends of the eustachian tube, lining epithelium of eustachian tube, difference in the adult and infant's eustachian tube, functioning and clinical correlation. Eustachian tube, also known as pharyngotympanic tube or auditory tube, is a mucus lined osteocartilaginous channel between nasopharynx and tympanic cavity. It maintains equilibrium on either side of tympanic membrane of middle ear. In adults, it is 36 mm long and is directed downward, forward and medially from tympanic end. Here you can see in this diagram, this is the tympanic auditory tube having tympanic end on lateral side and pharyngeal end on medial side. It is having these two parts. One is bony part which is communicating with the tympanic cavity on one side, while on other side it is attached to the cartilaginous part. Now we will see these parts of eustachian tube in detail. Bony part is 12 mm, about 1/3 of total length of tube. It is a posterolateral part and lies between tympanic and petrous part of temporal bone. It opens in middle ear cavity. Cartilaginous part is 24 mm in length, about 2/3 of total length of tube. It's an anteromedial part of the tube. It opens in nasopharynx. It contains elastic fibrocartilage which is folded in such a way that it forms roof, medial wall and part of lateral wall. Rest of part is filled by mucous membrane. It lies on petrous part of temporal bone and posterior border of greater wing of sphenoid. Here just now we have seen this bony part and cartilaginous part. Bony part is 12 mm long while cartilaginous part is 24 mm long. Tympanic end, it opens at anterior wall of middle ear, little above its floor, while pharyngeal end of the tube, it is larger than tympanic end. Its vertical slit-like opening in lateral wall of pharynx. It is 1.25 cm behind posterior end of inferior nasal concha. Lining epithelium of tube is pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium with interspersed goblet cell. Cilia beats toward nasopharynx, thus drains secretion from middle ear to nasopharynx. Coming to the difference in eustachian tube in infant and adult. In infants, it is half of that of the length in adult, that is around 18 mm, while in adult it is 36 mm long. In infants, it is directed horizontally, while in adults it is directed downward, forward, medially, making an angle of 45 degree with horizontal plane. There is no angulation at isthmus in infant, while angulation is present at isthmus in adult. Tubal elevation is not prominent in infant, so it is difficult to pass eustachian catheter to dilate tube in children, while in adult tubal elevation is prominent. Here in this diagram you can see muscles attached to the auditory tube. To cartilaginous part, levator veli palatini, tensor tympani and salpingopharyngeus. These muscles are attached. Mechanism of opening of auditory tube is not well known but not well understood, but said that contraction of tensor veli palatini assisted by salpingopharyngeus opens the tube. Some believes that passively by levator veli palatini contraction the tube opens. Arterial supply of this tube is by middle meningeal artery, artery of pterygoid canal, ascending pharyngeal branch of external carotid artery, while veins from the tube they drain into pterygoid and pharyngeal plexus of veins. Lymphatic drainage is into retropharyngeal and upper deep cervical group of lymph nodes. Nerve supply to the entire tube is by except the pharyngeal end is by glossopharyngeal nerve. Pharyngeal end of the tube is supplied by pharyngeal branch of pterygopalatine ganglion. Now coming to the functions of this tube. The eustachian tube, it maintains equilibrium of air pressure on either side of tympanic membrane. At rest, tube remains closed. It opens on yawning, swallowing and sneezing. When awake, we swallows once every minute, and at sleep once every 5 minutes. At that time, this tube opens. As tube remains closed at rest, it protects middle ear from transmission of high pressure sound from nasopharynx to middle ear. Clearance of middle ear secretion by active opening and closing of tube takes place. This is also assisted by the beating of cilia toward nasopharynx, which drains secretion from middle ear to nasopharynx. Clinical anatomy of the auditory tube. Blockage of pharyngotympanic tube commonly takes place in inflammation of tubal tonsil, which leads to retraction of tympanic membrane. This causes disturbance of hearing and severe earache due to retraction of tympanic membrane. Infections of middle ear are common in infants and children because of short, wide and horizontal auditory tube, which leads to spread of infection from nasopharynx to middle ear. Thank you.